A very good noon to one and all. So today, in the, we are going to discuss about the mechanical comparators, various types of mechanical comparators, its advantages. Previous lecture, we have started the mechanical comparators, various instruments, reed type comparator, dial gauge, etc. So, so we have to learn various types of mechanical comparators. So, mechanical comparators working principle, which employs the mechanical means for magnifying the small movement of the measuring stylus brought about due to the difference between the standard and the actual dimension being checked. In these comparators, the magnification of the small stylus movement is obtained by means of levers, gear trains, rack and pinion, or a combination. The usual magnification obtained by these comparators, which ranging from of about 250 to 1000. The mechanical comparators are of various types like dial gauge or dial indicator and Johansson microcator, reed type mechanical comparator and sigma comparator. So in the dial indicator or dial gauge, it's a very simplest type of mechanical comparator, and it consists of a base with a rigid column resin from its rear. An arm is mounted on this column and it carries a dial gauge at its outer end. The arm can be adjusted vertically up and down along the column. An anvil or a work table is mounted on the base, which provides a reference on which workpieces are placed during the measuring operation. Such a simple comparator is ideal for checking of components with a tolerance of ranges minus 0.505 to 0.05 mm. In its operation, the indicator is set to 0 by the use of slip gauges representing the basic size of the part. The part to be checked is then placed below the measuring plunger of the indicator. The linear movement of the plunger is magnified by means of gear and pinion train into the sizable rotation of the pointer. The variation in dimension of the part from the basic size is indicated on the dial. The dial indicator is generally used for inspection of small precision mechanical parts. The dial indicator with various attachments may be used for a large number of workpieces with a V block attachment, and it can be used for checking out of roundness of a cylindrical part. So this is a discussion about the dial indicator. And next one is the Johansson microcator. So this instrument was first devised by the C.F. Johansson, and hence its a name. The name of the instrument is with his name. So it was a twisted strip to convert small linear movement of a plunger into a large circular movement of a pointer. Okay, so it is therefore also called as a twisted strip comparator. Twisted strip comparator. It uses the simplest method for obtaining the mechanical magnification, which was designed by the H. Abramson, which is also known as a Abramson moment. A twisted thin metal strip which carries at the length of at the center of its length a very light weight pointer made of a very thin glass. So one end of the strip is fixed to the adjustable cantilever strip and the other end is anchored to the spring elbow, one arm of which is carried on the measuring plunger. The spring elbow acts as a bell crank lever. So this diagram shows the construction of Johansson microcater construction. A slight upward movement of the plunger will make the bell crank lever to rotate. So due to this, a tension will be applied to the twisted strip in the direction of the arrow. So this causes the strip to untwist, resulting in the movement of the point. The spring will ensure that the plunger returns and the contact pressure between the bottom tip of the plunger and the workpiece is not there. So that is when the workpiece is removed from underneath the plunger. The length of the cantilever can be varied to adjust the magnification. In order to prevent excessive stress on the central portion, the strip is perforated along the center line by perforation as shown in this figure. The magnification of the instrument is approximately equal to the ratio of rate of change of pointer movement to the rate of change in length of the strip. Okay, so it is thus obvious that in order to increase the magnification of the instrument, a very thin rectangular strip must be used. Okay, so this is information about the Johansson microcater instrument. And next one is reed type mechanical comparator. So this instrument we have already discussed in the previous class. So once again I am going to explain about this reed type mechanical comparator. So in a reed type mechanical comparator, the gauging head is usually a sensitive high quality dial indicator. The dial indicator is mounted on the base supported by a column, which shows in the figure a reed type mechanical comparator. So the reed mechanism is a frictionless device for magnifying small motions of the spindle. It consists of a fixed block. So capital A, which is rigidly fastened to the gauge head case, and a floating block B, which carries the gauging spindle, and it is connected horizontally to the fixed block by the reed C. A vertical reed is attached to each block with upper ends joined together. These vertical reeds are indicated by capital T. Beyond this joint extends a pointer. A linear motion of the spindle moves the free block vertically, causing the vertical reed on the floating block to the slide past the vertical reed on the fixed block. However, as the vertical reeds are joined at the upper end instead of slipping, the movement causes both reeds swing through an arc. The scale may be calibrated by means of a gauge block to indicate any deviation from an initial setting. The mechanical amplification is usually less than 100, but it is multiplied by the optical length system, and it is available in the amplification ranging from 500 to 1000. So this is in very clear-cut information about the reed type mechanical comparator. And next one is the sigma comparator. So this is the mechanical comparator which provides the magnification in the range of 300 to 5000. It consists of a plunger mounted on two flat steel springs. That means slit diaphragms. So this provides a frictionless linear movement for the plunger. The plunger carries a knife edge which bears upon the face of the mounting block of a cross strip hinge. The cross strip hinge is formed by pieces of flat steel springs arranged at right angles, and it is a very efficient pivot for a smaller angular movements. The moving block carries a light metal Y shaped forked arms. A thin phosphor bronze ribbon is fastened to the ends of the forked arms and wrapped around a small drum mounted on a spindle carrying the pointer. Any vertical displacement of the measuring plunger and hence that of the knife edge makes the moving block of the cross strip lever to the pivot. This causes the rotation of the Y arms. The metallic band attached to the arms makes the driving drum and hence the pointer to rotate. So the ratio of the effective length of the arm and the distance of the knife edge from the pivot gives the first stage magnification, and the ratio of the pointer length L and radius R of the driving drum which gives the second stage magnification of the instrument. Then the total magnification of the instrument is capital L by A into small L by A, L by R. So the magnification of the instrument can be varied by changing the distance A of the knife edge of tightening or slackening of the adjusting screws. Okay, so the range of the instruments available which provides magnifications of x 300 to the x 5000. The most sensitive models allowing scale estimation of the order of 0.0001 mm to be made. So this is about the sigma comparator, and some of the features or advantages of a sigma comparator are safety. So as the knife edge moves away from the moving member of the hinge and is followed by it, therefore if too robust movement of the plunger is made due to the shock load, that will not be transmitted through the movement. So safety is advantage. And next, deadbeat readings. So by mounting a non-ferrous disc on the pointer spindle and making it move in field of a permanent magnet, deadbeat reading can be obtained. And parallax. So the error due to the parallax is avoided by having a reflective strip on the scale. And next, constant pressures. The constant measuring pressure over the range of the instrument is obtained by the use of a magnet plunger on the frame. So fine adjustments are also possible. And some of the disadvantages, like due to the motion of the parts, there is a wear in the moving parts, and it is not sensible as a optical comparator due to the friction of the moving parts. And overall advantages of mechanical comparators, so these are cheaper. So mechanical comparators are less costly as compared to the other amplifying devices, and there is no need of external agency. So these instruments do not require any external agency such as electricity or air, and as such the variations in outside supply do not affect the accuracy. So and next one is a linear scale. So usually the mechanical comparators have a linear scale and robust and compact. So these instruments are robust and compact in design and easy to handle, and which is portable. So for ordinary workshop conditions, these instruments are very suitable, and being portable can be issued from the stores. So some of the disadvantages of mechanical comparators, which have less accuracy. So due to the more moving parts, the friction is more, which reduces the accuracy. And any slackness in moving parts also reduces the accuracy considerably. So and next one is sensitive to vibrations. So the mechanisms in mechanical comparators have more inertia, and this may cause them to be sensitive to the vibrations. And next one is faults magnified. So any weird backlash or dimensional faults in mechanical devices used will also be magnified. And next, limited range. So the range of the instrument is very limited as a pointer moves over a fixed scale. So and the parallax error. So error due to the parallax are more likely with these instruments as a pointer moves over a fixed scale. So this is about the clear cut information about the mechanical comparator. Okay, I hope everyone understand these mechanical comparators. So please read well, and next class in the coming lectures, we will discuss about the some of the other other type of comparator. So I hope everyone understand this mechanical comparators concept. So please read well and stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Bye.